All right, welcome back to the podcast. Really glad you're here, and it's my job to make sure that you're glad you're here too. Because on this episode, I really think this one can be a game changer if you're trying to grow your business, the right way. So let's talk about something that gets a little twisted in today's marketing world, which is what's the difference between being famous and being familiar. The difference between being famous and being familiar. Like one thing I have found is, look, you don't need to be a celebrity, right? You don't need 1,000 or you don't need 100,000 followers or some viral video that gets shared by some dude named Chad who lives in his mom's basements. No offense to my to people named Chad. That's not where the business comes from. But what you do need is you need to be familiar to somewhere between 100 and 150 key people. That's it. So, like your database, a few dozen real estate agents, top producing real estate agents, and your referral partners, whether they're attorneys, financial planners, right? You get the idea. And so it's about people that kind of know you or people that should to know you if they just knew you a little bit better, right? Which brings me to something that's called the 7-Eleven principle. The 7-Eleven principle. So the idea behind the 7-Eleven principle, it's the idea that in order for somebody to really feel comfortable referring to you or doing business with you, they need about 7 hours of exposure spread out on 11 different touch points across four different platforms. So 11 hours of exposure, maybe, and, and maybe that's uh, maybe you do a 1 hour class at the Realtors Association. You do a 30-minute phone call with them. They listen to a podcast episode where you interview another top producing real estate agent, and that's 30 minutes. But they need about 7 hours of that exposure spread out over 11 different touch points. So it's not spending one time 7 hours with them, right? It's like, maybe a 3-minute video would be one of the touch points, and maybe a 10-minute phone call, a 30-minute coffee appointment, a 45-minute Zoom meeting that you have with them, right? So that's 11 different touch points, adding up to about 7 hours of exposure on at least four different platforms. So it's not like, well, you can do, all of it via email or all of it via a podcast. They watch 14 episodes of a podcast where you're on. That's one platform. It needs to be four different platforms. And I've got a whole training on this up in the for the in the members website. I got a whole teaching platform about the 7-Eleven principle. So I'm just kind of giving the very basics here. So the point here that I wanted to give you today, it's not about like one perfect video or one great coffee meeting or that one viral post that magically makes everything happens, right? It's not like that. Like I was talking with this loan officer the other day, and he said, "Carl, I had a video that had over 150,000 views on it." And I go, "Awesome! How many loans did you get from it?" And he goes, "Well, I got two pre-approvals on it." I was like, "Well, look, I'm not one to try to discourage anybody. Like, I think awesome, good for him, but like that doesn't really move the needle, right? We want to do something that actually gets results. We want to get something not that makes us famous, but makes us familiar so that people refer to us. And then once they're referred to us, people do business with you, right? And again, it's not that one viral post that magically makes all this happen, right? You don't want to be a blip on the radar. It's time plus consistency plus presence, right? That's how trust is built. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you kind of like the three biggest mistakes I see people make with this, and mistakes that lead them, sometimes kind of scratching their head, wondering why their post, I got social media views, but no results. You with me on this? Right? All right, let's jump in this. So, mistake number one, and I kind of already talked about this a little bit. I call this mistakes that make you invisible even when you're getting views, right? So, mistake number one, thinking one home run post is all it takes. You post that one video, maybe it gets a bunch of likes, you're feeling good, people saw it, that should turn into calls and referrals, right? Wrong. Right? Trust doesn't come from one big swing. It's built like a relationship. Imagine like going on a great date and thinking, well, that should be enough for her to want to marry me or for him to want to marry me. Nope, doesn't work that way, right? It's a series of touch points over time that creates comfort and trust. I often give examples of dating and married life because I think marketing in relationships is like business relationships and marriage relationships. It's kind of the same, right? Well, it's not exactly the same, but you know what I'm saying, right? If you treat it exactly the same, you might get in a little bit of trouble, but you know what I'm saying. All right. So mistake number one is thinking that one home run post is all it takes. Mistake number two, mistaking visibility for connection. Mistaken visibility for connection. Look, just because somebody saw your video doesn't mean they're connected to you. Just because somebody watch your TikTok video doesn't mean they feel connected to you, right? Views are not trust, right? A Facebook view or an Instagram like, it just isn't a handshake, right? It's not a relationship. It's just a blip, right? It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying if you're relying on that, it might be a little tough. If we confuse the two, we could very easily end up frustrated and wondering why our content isn't producing results, right? Views are not a trust, right? So the truth is, connection takes repetition, right? They got to see you, hear you, and feel like you know them, and that doesn't happen on the first post, right? So mistake number one, thinking one home run post is all it takes. Mistake number two, mistaking visibility for connection. Mistake number three, trying to shortcut the rhythm. Trying to shortcut the rhythm. So we want to believe that one viral video or one perfect coffee meeting or one killer podcast episode will be that thing that I need, right? But it's not the one, it's the rhythm. It's not the one, it's the rhythm, right? It's the consistency over time. That's the secret sauce, right? It's showing up over and over and delivering value and staying top of mind over and over and over. And that's really the secret to all this, right? Yeah, it's just about consistently showing up, right? That's the name of the game. Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. So the 7-Eleven principle, man, it's a big deal. And boy, if you want to look at the entire training that we have on this, on how to get people to really trust and refer to you, um, yeah, would love to help you out with that. Hey, before I wrap up though, um, let's talk a minute about the social media do's and don'ts. And I think we've kind of done that, but I think a lot of people, they try the 7-Eleven principle, but they only like do it on social media. So, and look, social media can be a gold mine. I've made literally, I would say, tens of millions of dollars on social media for sure. Like for sure, for sure. And I found that like social media can be a gold mine or it can be a total time suck, depending upon how you use it. So, social media, let me give you some don'ts. Don't scroll aimlessly and call it marketing. Huge mistake. Number two, don't open up Facebook or Instagram without a plan for the day or the plan for that 30 minutes. Don't trick yourself into thinking you're building a business when you're really just burning time. You go, all right, Carl, that's the don'ts. What's the do? Do's, use social media with a mission, right? Post with intention. When I open up social media, I go, all right, I'm going to be on for the next 30 minutes. Here's the 35 people I'm going to go interact with. I've already got them on my list. These are the list of people that I'm prospecting right now, I got a deal in process with them. And so I'm not going to scroll on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn or wherever and going, let's see, who should I connect up with today? Nope. I've got a list and I check off the list. Here's my 35 people. I do it 2 times a week. like Tuesdays and Thursdays. And on this 30-minute period, it's on my calendar. And I open up and I go on these 35 people, these 30 people, these 40 people, like whatever your number is. I recommend somewhere between 30 and 40. I don't scroll. I do a search. I grab that person's name. I click on their link and I have a conversation with them, whether that's making a comment on their post, doing a direct message to them, like a DM to them, or something like that, right? So the idea is, again, you don't use social media like you you use social media with a mission and post with intention. I guess that's the best way of saying it. The other thing is you got to be consistent. Don't be random. I recommend like the 2 days a week. And so like every Tuesday and every Thursday from 9 to 9:30, or that's actually my phone time. So like say from noon to noon 45, that's what I'm going to do. While I'm having my lunch, that's what I'm going to do. Um, and by the way, I recommend don't even open the social media apps until you finish your daily success plan. So understand that, how do you say this? Like use social and video to amplify your relationships, not to replace them. So use social and video to amplify your relationships, not to replace them, right? If you you got to treat it like a tool, not a toy, and it'll work for you. It'll work for you really really well. And you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. So pick your, I don't know, 150 people, choose your platforms and get into the rhythm, right? So make this happen, but do it with intention. So anyway, well, that's about it. So I'm looking out my window here I'm recording this here at my home office today, and I'm looking out the window and I see the lovely Mrs. White walking across the yard, directing the yard person on putting up the balloons and the flowers and stuff. We're having a baby shower here this weekend. I'm going to be a grandfather, so I'm really excited about that. So that's what we're doing this Saturday as I'm recording this. And so we're really excited. First grandchild. Man, that's that's a really, really, really cool thing. See, they tell us grandchildren are for making up for all of our shortcomings on raising our kids. You know, the funny thing about life is, you know, you get the test first and then you get the lessons, right? Get the test first and then you get the lessons. So a lot of truth to that actually. So anyway, really excited about the baby shower, and I think the baby's due June, first week of June, if I remember right, something like that. So cool. Hey, if you want access to the all the training that we have on the 7-Eleven, and it talks about, so on the 7-Eleven, what's the different ways of getting in front of these people for 7 hours? How can you do one to many, right? Called teaching one class. We've got all the classes that you want to teach. We've got all those up on the site, PowerPoints ready. I've done the class for you to watch, and then you get the PowerPoint, the instruction on how to do classes on all different kinds of topics, how to do a podcast. We got training on that. And so that's another great way to get your 7 hours on the 11 different touch points, whether it's social media, emailing, phone calls. We've got you soup to nuts on that. And then the 4 different platforms, whether you're doing social media, like just the different platforms of phone calls. When's the best time to do them? What do you say? Who do you say it to? Like we've got you covered, soup to nuts. And if you'd like to see how all that works, and we'll map it out to you totally for free, like no commitment, no anything on this call. If you just go to, I think it's is it Get More Loans? I think it is. I think it's getmoreloans.com. Getmoreloans.com. That's either my page or Frank's. Either way, it takes you to the same kind of thing. If that landing page takes you to my dear friend Frank Gray, it's the same scheduling process, right? So getmoreloans.com, and we'll totally walk you through it and show you exactly how to do all this stuff. And I recommend do it from a computer so you can do like screenshots and things like that. And Yeah, we'll map it out for you word for word. Um, and then on that call, we'll say, hey, would you like some more of this? And, you can say, sure, I'd like some more, or I think this is good for me right now. Either way, totally cool. And if you've done one of those calls in the past, do it again. Ask them about the 7-Eleven principle. Very, very powerful. So, all right, I think that's about it. So, social media, incredible tool. Just make sure you're doing it with a purpose and understand. You make a decision. You want to be famous, you want to be rich. Do you want to be famous or do you want to be rich? I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of people would rather be famous than rich. Just not me, right? I'd rather the amazing things that money can do for us and help us in our community, help our family, helping in other families, helping other friends when they need help. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So yeah, money's just nothing but an accelerator. If you're heading to good things, it'll take you there faster. And if you're heading to bad things, I guess it could take you there faster too. So, but I know that you and I are always heading for good things. We're looking to help our community, help our family, and help other family and help other friends. And we're in this amazing career where we can truly have anything that we want to have as long as we want it bad enough to do what it takes. Where does it start? Getmoreloans.com, getmoreloans.com. I'll see you on the inside and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks again, everybody. Bye bye.